Yeah.
You mentioned about Biden and Kamala. What do you think you do if you're either of them now? Like Trump's just running ragged, flying high, having all of this fun. What are they doing? Like, what do you do when you've lost two people have lost a campaign in the space of 6 months?
I don't know. Tim Walz is out there talking again.
You say he could fight any Trump supporter?
Yeah, he said he'd kick their ass, and they're scared of him because he could fix a truck. Like they're threatened by his masculinity. I know how to fix a truck. That's what he said. I'm like, do you? I bet you don't.
The lady doth protest too much.
I bet you don't.
I fear.
I bet if I bring a broken truck to you and a bag of tools, you're fucked.
That was kind of the redress, right? That was the attempt. It was like we're gonna the symbol of masculinity on the left is going to be Tim Walz. It was Aragon from Lord of the Rings, and Tim Walz.
Yeah, it's so crazy. I think they're lost. I mean, they're also lost in that they can't control the narrative anymore. I think when they had control of Twitter and they had control of essentially all of social media and pre-Trump, they had the reins like firmly held. They were in control of the public narrative. If you strayed from that, you will be kicked off social media. You'll be banned from YouTube. And for things that were factually correct. Like the lab leak theory is now finally being embraced by the New York Times. The New York Times, I don't know if you saw that article the other day. No. They said we were misled. Like, bro, you misled us.
We were misled by ourselves.
There was a big op-ed in the New York Times that has people up in arms because they're like, fucking duh. You're finally... Do you know where it is? I could send it to you. I saved it because it's so ridiculous. It's so ridiculous. I was like, what are you saying? How are you saying that? It was you guys. It wasn't just some random people that did that. Do you find it anywhere, Jamie? I know I saved it.
Which was it called?
It was the New York Times saying that we were misled. There was a big op-ed in the New York Times.
I saw people spreading. I never saw the link.
Yeah, I read it. I read it for like the first couple chapters, but it's all duh. That the whole thing is just fucking duh. God, where did I save it? I save too many things. I'm a hoarder.
Digital hoarder.
I'm a digital hoarder.
Do you know why that happens? Do you know why people hoard stuff? It's an interesting way that their brains work. So looking around this table, you're able to discern between stuff that is useful and stuff that isn't useful.
There it is. We were badly misled about the event that changed our lives. Who are you badly misled by? Do you think you guys had a factor in that? Since scientists began playing around with dangerous pathogens in laboratories, the world has experienced 4 or 5 pandemics, depending on how you count. One of them, the 1977 Russian flu, almost certainly sparked by a research mishap. Some Western scientists quickly suspected the odd virus had resided in a lab freezer for a couple of decades, but they kept mostly quiet for fear of ruffling feathers. Yet in 2020, when people started speculating that a lab accident might have been the spark that started the COVID-19 pandemic, they were treated like kooks and cranks in this newspaper. Many public health officials and prominent, by the way, not by this person, I'm not blaming this person. Many public health officials and prominent scientists dismissed the idea as a conspiracy theory. I wonder why they did that. I wonder if there's an email paper trail that's already been established. There is. Insisting that a virus had emerged from animals in a seafood market in Wuhan, China. And when a nonprofit called Eco Health Alliance lost a grant because it was planning to conduct risky research into bat viruses with the Wuhan Institute of Virology, research that, if conducted with lax safety standards, could have resulted in a dangerous pathogen leaking out into the world. No fewer than 77 Nobel laureates and 31 scientific societies lined up to defend the organization. Yeah, they defend themselves. I mean, it's appeal to authority, and they fucked us. And you guys were a part of it, by the way. That newspaper was a big part of it. Big part of calling the lab leak theory racist, which was really kooky.
It's strange that everything is concretized on the internet for the rest of time.
Yeah.
I mean, people can go back and try and retrograde remove stuff that happened, but there's always Internet Archive is fantastic for this.
Yeah, for the most part, you could find it if you're inspired.
So how is it that so many U-turns, regardless of what it is, regardless of which side it is, the sort of permanent state of amnesia that everybody's in? There was this WhatsApp message. You ever have one of those WhatsApp messages where it says forwarded many times?
Yes.
At the top, and you're like, oh, this is going to be good.
Right.
And it's just an advert. It's just a banner. Forwarded many times. And it was a single squaddy, a guy in fatigues, walking down the street in London, and a screenshot, I think, of a text saying that someone had said that the army was going to be deployed on the streets of London to keep everybody in the house through martial law, that this was how intense that the lockdowns were going to get. And it was going to happen on this particular day. It goes crazy on Facebook, crazy on WhatsApp. Never happened. I'm like, all of the people that shared that were adamant, that created all of these stories and theories around it, like, no one ever actually went to go and call those people out about what it was that they'd pushed. All of the people that were adamant, global health passports, the vaccine passport, that's going to come, that's going to happen. And, you know, I mean, the unfalsifiable version of it is because we knew that it was going to happen, they weren't able to do it. So actually we were the righteous resistance in doing the thing. And the same with whether it's lab leak theory, whether it's Joe Biden's mental decline, no matter what it is, you can put this position out there. It's fucking fortified on the internet for the rest of time. And after long enough, you're like, I don't remember that. You know, you're like fucking the most gaslighty partner that you've ever been with. Like, I'm not... Are you sure? Yeah, I don't think I did say that. I do this like fucking fugazi like switcheroo, some lexical Brazilian jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
And I don't have to atone for my previous sins anymore.
Well, I think in this case, you have an individual journalist who wrote this story. I do not know the history of this individual journalist, but what they said is accurate and important. So it's good that the New York Times has this come to Jesus moment where they lay out, hey, the conspiracy theories were all true. That's what the title should be. The conspiracy theories were all true. Yeah, the shot wasn't effective. Yeah, there were therapeutics that were available that were dismissed, and that bad studies were created in order to make sure that people weren't taking these drugs because we needed the emergency use authorization. And the only way you can get that is if you have no treatment. So you had to rely on one thing, and that one thing was the vaccine. And they all participated in it.